Do not impregnate or marry the wrong woman because it is a means of financial suicide. Straight up. That is 18-year commitment to an incompatible woman for 3 minutes of pleasure. That is not a fair trade.
He said 3 minutes.
Listen what I tell you again. 18 years commitment to an incompatible woman for 3 minutes of pleasure. That is not a fair trade. Even if it was 10. I give you 7. I give y'all 7 more. Listen, it's the truth. That is financial suicide. Let's break down how, right? And Van, I would love to have your input on this too. And I'm not even throwing you under the bus, bro, but we're gonna have a real conversation today because the fellas are listening to this, and I wanted them to get both sides of the coin, right?
Yeah.
Now, me on the other hand, you know, so far, I've made a great decision to marry an amazing woman, and I have a son that we co-parent together. So far, right? I don't know what my future holds. I'm not wishing anything wrong about that, but here's the thing. The financial suicide comes into play where the wrong woman now, for one, stress, right? Stress that you're dealing with as a man because you're dealing with an incompatible woman, one that you should have never been with to begin with. Y'all don't share the same values. Y'all don't share the same belief systems, right? All it is literally added weight onto you, and it's stress, right? When you're supposed to marry and have a child with the woman that you love so that it makes this experience enjoyable. This ain't enjoyable, right? Yeah. So now it's messing with my mind and it's messing with my mental stability, right? To where I can't perform to my highest level as a man in the outer world when I'm out there focusing on my career, because in my mind, I'm constantly stressed out. You know what it's like to get that long text message and it's like, yo, it's something else. Who wants to deal with that, right? Absolutely. So that's one, stress. That's the biggest thing. And stress can also kill you. Right? Make your life shorter. Secondly, financial suicide, right? When I say financial suicide, well, I mean, let's think about this for a second. I have acquaintances who have baby moms, and some of them is on child support. I literally saw one of my closest friends before who was on child support. They was taking half of his check before it was deposited into his account. Half that joint gone. Because he was on child support and he was taking care of his daughter. But he had a spiteful baby mother, right? So she didn't care about none of that. Half his check is gone. And now you got problems with the court, right? So it ain't really even it's not even in your control. So you're dealing with financial suicide now because you get half your check getting taken because of a 3-minute pleasure that you made because you decided not to wear rubber, right? Then lastly, on top of that too, in marrying the wrong woman, we just talked about this earlier about the fact that now y'all get married. It was the wrong woman, which you never know if she's fully the right woman, but you can make informed decisions to make a better decision about the woman.
Risk. Of
course, because everything ain't 100%, but you can make better calculated risk. And now you married the wrong woman because you just jumped into something, your feelings was involved, not thinking logically. And now next thing you know, a couple years later, and we just saw a story about this. I won't say the guy's name, but he just got divorced from his wife, and now she's asking for $200,000 a month in alimony.
I ain't got it.
Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant, but he almost had half his money taken. Tiger Woods had half his money gone. So again, it's lopsided when it comes to marriage for men. So you got to be very careful now when it comes to who you marry, because that divorce half your stuff is being taken. And on top of that, you lose custody too of your kids. So when we think about all of those things, it's important for men. Y'all should really, really give some thought. I think, to who you marry and who you decide to have sex with. And if you do decide to have sex with her, if you decide to literally not wear a condom and possibly get caught up in an 18+ year commitment that you weren't ready for, that you you made the decision, but you weren't ready for that outcome, and now you're stuck. There's no way around it. Like, this is not one of them decisions that you can reverse. It's done. Mm-hmm. it's done, like literally. So like I probably would be pretty conscious of that type of decision that I would make, right? So yeah.
Yeah, so what I would say is I obviously absolutely agree. So from my point of view, if from what Don is saying, which you guys don't know, I have 2 kids with women I didn't marry. 2 absolute, complete different experiences, though, for sure. The mother of my daughter, and my daughter is 13 going on 14 soon. No child support, anything like that. But as far as the stress, absolutely. Financial, completely, absolutely. And what was the last one you said? Oh, the married thing. Oh, all right. Well, that doesn't matter. But I've had her since, I have my daughter on my own since she was 6. So
you have full custody of your daughter?
Yeah, we have full custody of my daughter. So obviously the stress was there. And I was 23. I don't remember the ages, but I was 23 when I had her. I'm 31 now. So it's hard. It's hard. It was hard and especially now at the point where she's becoming a woman, it's difficult to raise her just because I'm a man, and she really doesn't quite understand like what she's going through at the same time. You know what I mean? So I have my cousins with are females. You know what I mean? I ask the questions to her. I have to have the girls at the office, and I always invite her. Like, you know what I mean? Ask the questions to them because your dad just doesn't know. I think I'm at a point where, at least with her, is like, how can I say this? I teach my daughter the task of a man, but I don't teach her how to be a man. Like, the trash, you take it out. You know what I mean? The TV broke, you fix it. Just because she might come across a man one day that doesn't know how to be one yet. And it's my responsibility to make sure that she still knows how to teach him with love and compassion, but not yet lose a sense of respect. Because we all been lost sometimes, you know what I mean? We all been not men before, you know what I mean? Just lost boys. So that's what she needs to understand, that, hey, these guys are out there, but don't lose respect for them because their upbringing is way different than yours. I
got a question about that though, Van.
Go ahead.
Do you think that she should expect to raise a boy, or would you want her to find one that already comes prepared?
I definitely want her to come one prepared, but I want her to know the difference. That's the thing.
I understand.
I absolutely know the difference.
So identify the difference between the two.
Correct. Okay. But then not to be afraid to teach someone, like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what I mean? You're like, there's been like, for example, myself, like, I've done boyish things, and I would have loved if a woman would have corrected me just because she knew about it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm a good man at heart, but at the same time, I just didn't know. You know what I mean? I was never taught. So if she's has the ability to actually teach them without still disrespecting them, that's golden. If the man is willing to learn, then that's golden. But there's some guys out there that obviously we just try to keep away from, but so, and that's one difficult part too. I know that's probably not in your 1, 2, or 3, but even like just like the mindset of actually having to raise the kid alone. But even if you don't, because it does happen. Most of the scenarios that you do hear is that the dad has a problem seeing his kids. You have a difficult baby mom, blah blah. But there's a lot of dads out there who got to do it dolo. You know what I mean? I know a few other guys who who their child's mother is not involved. But like I said, I got 2 sides of the coin. But then I also have my son's mother, who is very involved. We co-parent very well. It's still a little different because there's some risk that you still got to take. That's obviously that's calculated. That has to do with his lifestyle and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's still different. So impregnating the wrong woman is definitely don't do it.
That's all he had to say.
Not to say that I'm not calling any one of my 2 wrong, but at the same time, but
it's still the truth regardless. I mean,
True. I would suggest, like, I even tell my brothers now, like, one of my brothers just had a baby on Sunday. Told him now, like, yo, and it's crazy because when I was going through situation of me after I think before right after I had Zoe, I was like, yo, just make sure that, if you have a baby, or no, not if you have a baby, marry a woman before you have a baby. Like, you know, guys talk about all the time, like, I want kids, I want kids. You don't hear a conversation with guys like, yo, I want a wife, I want a wife. You don't hear that ever. Like, every time I hang out with my fellas, they're talking about, oh yeah,
that's an interesting combo.
Kids, some of these kids. We never talk about having a wife. It's crazy. And like, I really said that one day. I'm like, yo, you don't want to get married first? Like, listen to somebody who's going through it, who went through it. Trust me, bro. Get married first. Like, don't even worry about kids yet. Worry about your wife. And what I noticed too, like going through this whole process is, you know, what good things about this podcast and, you know, the message that you reach out and that you put out there is you're preparing men to be the best version of themselves before they meet that woman. But what I have noticed also as well, you know, and this, I'm 31, so this is coming to me like late, you know what I mean? Because I was never taught. But you would never be the best version of yourself until you meet that woman, which I'm recognizing as well too. So I'm telling you guys, man, especially the young men are listening. I wish you can comment on podcasts, right? Yeah, please comment on, especially the older men. Like, let these young men see these comments and let them know your stories about what you went through, what are you going through, or even especially the married men, of how much beneficial it could be, or it is going to be, once you do have a kid with a woman that you love and they're able to raise a family. It's a beautiful thing. Like, to watch you and AJ, I said you and AJ, yeah, you and AJ as men have a wife, raise your kids. It's beautiful. I get to see black love every day, y'all. This is like an unbelievable experience. I'm telling y'all, it really is.
So that means Van must be rubbing off on Van. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying, because I said I wanted to go to another wedding, but I think also you touched on something important, Van. Sometimes it's not the wrong woman. It could also be the wrong time.
Whoa.
Right? Like it sometimes not the wrong woman. It could be the wrong time. So impregnating or marrying a woman at the wrong time could also create a lot of friction, right? Because I believe that, again, everything ain't always going to be perfect, right? But I do believe now, when I think back about it, that there are some things that I would have done too before I got married. Obviously, things worked out for me, but you know, making sure that I'm financially I have financial strength, some form of it. Like, I got a nice foundation set forth for myself, right? I have good habits, good financial habits, meaning that, okay, I'm saving a certain portion of money, I'm investing a certain portion of money, I got this, I got that, habits, right? And I don't got to be. Before you get married as a man, you don't got to be a millionaire. You don't even got to have $100,000. You don't got to have a huge net worth. You need to just have great financial habits based off of what you currently already possess. Mm-hmm. Those great financial habits are going to lead into creating disciplines and lifestyles that are going to transfer into you being married and it working out, right? But if you're irresponsible financially, you're already irresponsible with your lifestyle, your irresponsible diet, you're irresponsible. Those are just going to transfer over into the marriage because that's your lifestyle already.
Yep.
So I think that, you know, in my opinion, before you marry a woman, adjust your lifestyle first into a proper lifestyle that's beneficial. So when you move into the marriage now, it's fruitful.
Yeah,
it's more fruitful than what it would be if you married her at the wrong time when your life is in shambles.